namaskritya
Narayanam
Narayanam
Namaskrityam
Namaskrityam
naram chaiva narottamam
Naram Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam
Namotaham
devim saraswatim vyasam
Devim
Devim
Saraswati
Saraswatim
Vyasam
Vyasam
tato jayamudirayed
Tado
Tattodayam
Jayamudiraye
Udidayet
ashtaprayesha bhadreshu
Nashtaprayesva
Nishtaprayesu
Bhadreshu
Bhadresu
nityam bhagavata sevaya
Nityam
Nityam
Bhagavata
Bhagavata
Sevaya
Sevaya
bhagavati uttama shloke
Bhagavati
Bhagavate Uttama
Uttamastoke
Sloke
bhaktir bhavati naishtiki
Bhaktir
Bhakti
Bhavati Naistiki
Bhartinaistahi
krishnaya vasudevaya
Krishnaya
Krishnaya
Vasudevaya
Vasudevaya
devaki nandanaya cha
Devaki
Devaki Nandanaya
Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Nanda
Nanda
Gopa
Gopa
Kumaraya
Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Govindaya
Govindaya
Namo
Namo
Namaha.
Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. So we'll continue Vidura and Maitreya conversation here. Right? We studied 14 verses. So Uddava is sharing his experience of meeting Lord Krishna with Vidura. Iti atrutokta paramasya pumsa
Yadi
Iti
Atripta
Atrikotra
Paramasya
Paramasya
Pumsa
Pumsah
Pratikshananugраhabhajanoham
Pratikshanananugraha
Pratikshananugravanoham
Snehottaro maskalitaskarastam
Snehotaroma
Nehataroma
Salitasharanputam
Salitasvaram
munchan munchan chucha prajnalair adhabase
Munchan
Munchan
Munchan Chucha
Prajnaladhyase
Pranjali
Abhabase.
Abhavase.
Yeah. Now Uddhava is explaining his feelings, inner feelings here. Yeah, please read.
Uddava said, O Vidura, when I was thus favored at every moment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and addressed by him with great affection, my words failed in tears, and the hairs on my body erupted. After smearing my tears, I, with folded hands, spoke like this.
So at this time, so Uddhava was with Lord all his, Lord of most of his lifetime as a childhood friend. And Uddhava knows because now Lord is about to leave this, incarnation. He's going to wind down the pastimes. So Uddhava knows that these are some of the last moments for me to be with the Lord. So, and Lord was uh, very sweetly disposed towards Uddhava when he was speaking. He was just very personal to Uddhava. Looking at his eyes, he was speaking. So just Uddhava, just remembering those incidents, how Lord was lovingly glancing at him and speaking, he was just mesmerized about that. Some of the words, pratikshananu bhajanoham. How uh, how Lord was favoring me at every moment. He was expressing that. Anugraha bhajanaha. How he was the object of favor by the Lord. Just by thinking about that, he was erupting with emotions. His hairs were standing on the body. and tears were rolling out from his eyes. Yeah. Addressed by him with great affection, my words failed in tears, and thus hairs on my body erupted. After smearing my tears, I with folded hands spoke like this. So now Uddava is speaking. Konvishate pada saroja bhajam
Kunishapad Saroja Bhajam
Kunishapad
sad sudhurlabho ardheshu chaturasva apiha
Durlabho Ardeshu Chaturasva Pito
tatapi naham pravrinomi bhuman
Tathapi Naham Pravnomi Bhunam
bhavat padam bhoja nisevanostu ka ksuka
Bhavat
Bhavat
Padam
Padam
Bhoja
Bhojan
Nisevutu Sukha.
Sukha.
Yeah.
O my Lord, devotees who engage in the transcendental loving service of your lotus feet have no difficulty in achieving anything within the realm of the four principles of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But, O Great One, as far as I am concerned, I have preferred only to engage in the loving service of your lotus feet.
This is the inner desire of any devotee who is not attracted to the four religious principles, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Not even liberation is attractive to a devotee. He just like how he was so sweetly disposed towards the Lord, that's how every devotee is generally. I only prefer to engage in the loving service of your lotus feet. This is the mood of as we advance in pure devotion service. This is the exact mood we should be getting into. We don't even desire to go back to Godhead. Wherever Lord wants us, we will be happy to serve there. That is the mood. As one gets purified and develops love for the Lord, he is happy in the service of the Lord. He is not even desiring, because he knows his children are suffering in the material existence. So, on behalf of the Lord, the devotee want to be engaged in the material world to serve the mission of the Lord. That is the mood of a devotee, pure devotee. He's not after his own personal liberation, or I want to go back to Godhead and escape the miseries of the material existence. That's not his mood. In the initial phases, one may be attracted to such desires. So that's why there is one of the liberation called Sarupya Mukti. So one gets the same form as the Lord. So just like Uddhava also would look like exactly like Krishna only. Uh, for most people, Uddhava is almost equivalent to Krishna in his form, even when Krishna was in this material world. But Uddhava is not interested in that, even though it is available to him. Sarupya, Sayujya, and Salokya. Salokya means in the same planet as the Supreme Lord. Sarupya includes Salokya because you get same form as the Lord only in the spiritual world. Like that. So Sarupya, Salokya, these are all various liberations which a devotee is not interested. Yeah, a pure devotee, please read this.
A pure devotee wants simply to engage in the service of the Lord and does not consider his own personal benefit.
Yeah. So he does not consider his own personal benefit. What do I get from Lord? No, he doesn't. That's not part of his equation. So anyone remember one devotee during the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pastimes who exhibited this quality? Very, very explicitly. He was only, there is one devotee known by the name Vasudeva Datta.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was, he would uh, he would say to the Lord, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that may you liberate all the jivas from the middle world, and may all their sinful reactions that are causing them to stay in the middle world may fall upon me, so that I may suffer on behalf of them for millions of lifetimes. But may they be liberated. So that is the extent to which a pure devotee goes. So he want to take the sufferings on behalf of all the other jivas. Even
Hare Krishna.
yeah,
Who was Vasudev Datta's incarnation or
sorry, who was
incarnation? Yeah. Who was
oh,
Vasudev Datta in Goloka?
that's a good question. I don't. Maybe I need to check on that.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, I I don't want to speculate. Maybe Prahlad Maharaj, but I need to confirm that. Yeah, it's a good question. But that was the mood of a devotee. So this is like extreme mood. Even the other example is, if you remember Haridas Thakur,
Mm-hmm.
he was being punished in several marketplaces. It's
By the Mughal warriors, I think.
yeah. So by Mughal, Mughal leadership, they punish him in 26 places for marketplaces in the city uh, for chanting the holy name. He was chanting the holy name, being a Muslim, and that is against religious code for Muslims. He was born in a Muslim family, but he was so attracted to holy names, he was continuously chanting the holy name. So he was in Puri. He was not even allowed to see the form of Lord in Jagannath Puri. Uh, so at that time, when he was being punished, he was begging the Lord that these people who are trying to punish me, they don't know what they're doing. So, Lord, please forgive them for their mistakes, because they will get sinful reactions for punishing a pure devotee. He would not wait, okay, let them, anyway, they are going to suffer. No, he would say, um, so please, Lord, don't punish them. Same, even the mood of Jesus Christ when he was being crucified, he said the same thing. Lord, please be kind to the people who are trying to kill me. So this is the mood of, across, the pure devotee's mood is like that. Yeah. And they are beyond their suffering. Actually, when Haridas Thakur was being beaten, the whole pain was taken by Mahaprabhu on his back. So in Mahaprakash Leela, he would show how Haridas Thakur, look at, he will show his back. When people were beating, I was behind you, safeguarding you from all the beatings. That's how, and on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's back, there was very, thick marks of beating that was given to, Haridas Thakur in the 20 plus marketplaces. So Lord, of course, Lord want to serve the devotees, and devotees always want to serve. So this is a transcendental competition between the devotees and the Lord. Yeah. So many such pastimes. Even one of the, who was it? One of the Goswamis, when he was chanting, either it is one of the six Goswamis, when he was chanting the holy name in Vrindavan continuously without even break. Sometimes there would be mosquitoes, trying to, or there is a heavy sunshade, and Radharani would personally come and cover and provide shade. And one time, another devotee, Vaishnava observes that, oh Goswami, when you are chanting, this is what is happening. Radharani is actually trying to cover your head so that you don't get. Then the devotee realizes, oh, I am giving service to Srimati Radhika, so I won't do that. So then he would not do that, under the sun anymore. So like that. So many times where devotees refuse to take any service from Lord, and Lord would always look for opportunities to serve the devotees, and devotees also try to serve the Lord, right? Like that. So it's always a transcendental competition. कर्माणि अनिहस्य भवो भवस्य ते
कर्माणि
कर्माणि
भवो
अनित्यस्य
भवस्ते
भवो भवस्यते
दुर्गाश्रयोतारि भयात् पलायनम्
दुर्गाश्रयोधारि
दुर्गाश्रयोधरि भयात्
भयात्पलायनम्
पलायनम्
कालात्मनो यत् प्रमादयुताश्रमा
कालात्मनो
आत्मनो
यत्प्रमादयुतास्मरा
प्रमादयुताश्रमः
स्वात्मन् रते कीज्यति धीर्विदाम् इह
स्वात्मान्
स्वामन्
स्वात्मान्
रते
रते केत्यद्भिर्विधम् इह
कियद्भिर्विधम् इह.
Yeah, please read.
My Lord, even the learned sages become disturbed in their intelligence when they see that your greatness engages in pruritive work, although you are free from all desires, that you take birth although you are unborn, that you flee out of fear of the enemy and take shelter in a fort although you are the control of invincible time, and that you enjoy householder life surrounded by many women although you enjoy in yourself.
So when Lord was in the middle world performing various pastimes, many of his pastimes were very contradictory. Some of them are listed here, right? Though Lord is unborn, he takes birth as a child of Vasudeva and Devaki. And many other pastimes. Anybody want to share some of these pastimes? And through all of this, what Lord is, trying to teach is, Lord cannot be just understood by dry logic. If you try to, uh, understand Lord just based on pure mental and intellectual faculties, he cannot be understood. In fact, they will be bewildered and they will leave Krishna consciousness. They will be confused. If you try to think that everything should fit logic, perfect logic, no. Because Lord performed so many contradictory pastimes, you will be bewildered, uh, assuming, how he can be doing this. Can you share? Like, let's hear from each of you, one or two pastimes that where Lord performed contradictory pastimes are very, for example, one example I'll tell, right? Lord is feared by fear personified, but in the Damodar Leela, he would be wiping his tears and running out of fear from Yashoda, right? So the first verse itself tells, Rudantam Muhur Netra. So he was Rudantam, his face was full of fear. Muhur Netra, he was rubbing his eyes with his both hands out of fear of Mother Yashoda, for he has done a mischief. So That was a contradiction because Lord is the supreme being. He is feared by fear personified, but now he is, fearful of his own mother. Uh, so that's a contradiction. Any other such contradictions?
Yeah, like Krishna running away from Jarasandha, right?
Yeah,
When he
he
attacks
defeated.
Mathura 17 times.
Yeah,
He cannot kill. He wanted to give Bhima the chance to kill Jarasandha to glorify his own devotee.
right. That's true. Very true. So he defeated Jarasandha 17, but he wouldn't kill him.
Yeah.
And finally, he runs away. And in that, when he runs away, Jarasandha would laugh at me. Oh, this guy now finally got scared of me. But actually, he didn't care what world would say, what Jarasandha would say. He would just go about what he wanted to do. He would just do it and give all the credit to Bhima for killing Jarasandha. Correct. Thank you. Yeah. Dhanashri Mataji.
Oh, Hare Krishna. I was just listening to Radha Govind Maharaj's lecture, and he talked about Jagannath Das. He well, he was very poor, and then when he read Bhagavad Gita, Yogam Shahamyam, he scratched the Bhagavad Gita,
Was
and then there were marks on the deities. So the Pandits were so surprised what happened, like who could enter the altar and do all this stuff. Like they were so surprised. And at night they got a dream that there is a devotee. He did this to me, and so the pandas go after him and say, why did you do this to the Lord? And then he said, yeah, because he doesn't provide me anything. So then they brought him to the altar and showed the deities back, like they were all scratched. Like then he said, did you do this? I said, yeah. So it was very. I mean, when he speaks, definitely it's so beautiful. But I felt like he's so merciful. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for sharing that story. So the devotee thought, this is not true, the statement of Bhagavad Gita, but actually Lord reciprocated, by showing. In fact, I think in the pastime, Lord gives everything, brings foodstuff to the devotee, and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
the devotee shows his, the devotee who brought, he would show his bag, and there were scratches. Yeah, it was amazing pastime. Yeah. Anything else? In Damodar Lila, many are there. Uh, Even like, Lord Krishna, he would he would kill Kamsa and keep Ugrasena as the establish Ugrasena as the king. He could have become the king, but he would do that, and then to Ugrasena he would just submit himself like like a regular civilian, right? And he would request for many things, from Ugrasena. He could have become the king, but he never put himself in a high position. Even though he was the one who killed Kamsa, he did not take the position of king. Many such pastimes where uh, he was beyond, you know, he was self-sufficient, self-satisfied. Atmaram, Lord is known as Atmaram. But when he was in the Vrindavan, he would perform very sweet pastimes with gopis. Right? So that is mentioned here. Yeah. He was living like a householder life, like anybody else, taking care of his wife, children. For pleasing his wife Satyabhama, he would go to heaven and, you know, get Parijata tree, like, a hand-picked husband. And yeah, when he was in the middle world, at one point he was even doubted, and there is doubt on him when the Shamantak money was stolen or missing. Some people have doubted that Krishna would have done that, because he's acting as the king for
Yes, yes.
Vidura. So it shows that, if Lord himself gets blames like that, what to speak of devotees? We should not be bewildered when sometimes even pure devotees get blemished by the middle world, people of the middle world. So when even Lord was here, he had to go through that blemish. Lord is beyond all blemish, but even when he was in the middle world, he would go through that. So like that. So the main point is Lord cannot be fit in logic. If you try to fit logic, everything should fit law. How God can do this, God can do that. You will be bewildered. You won't understand. Please read this purport part.
Whatever little knowledge they have about the Lord is sufficient for them because devotees are simply satisfied in hearing and chanting about the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. This gives them all transcendental bliss. But some of the pastimes of the Lord appear contradictory even to such pure devotees, and thus Uddhava asked the Lord about some of the contradictory incidents in his pastimes.
Yeah. So he was just mentioning to Lord about these pastimes, how they are very bewildering. Mantreshu mam va upahooya yatvam
Mantreshu
Mantreshu
mam va
Mahate Om
akuntiti khanda sadatma bodha
akuntat kanda satmatma bodha
Priche prabho mugda iva pramatas
Rache Prabhu Mugda Eva
eva
Pramata
pramatas.
tanno mano mohayat yanti va deva.
Tanno
No mano
Mohyate
mohayatviva eva.
Yeah, please read.
O my Lord, your eternal self is never divided by the influence of time, and there is no limitation to your perfect knowledge. Thus, you were sufficiently able to consult with yourself, yet you called upon me for consultation as if bewildered, although you are never bewildered. And this act of yours bewilders me.
Hmm. Yeah. So Lord, generally is never, you know, is never beyond any kind of dilemma or confusion. However, sometimes he would call Uddhava to consult about any decisions he has to take as a king. Uddhava is saying, this is like bewildering to me. That you call me like a mere mortal for consultation when you want to make a decision. This is very bewildering to me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But the clarification is here. Prabhupada clarifies what the bewilderment of Uddhava is. Because he's a pure devotee, he's not. Yeah. Please read.
Uddhava was never actually bewildered, but he says that all these contradictions appear to be bewildering. The whole discussion between Krishna and Uddhava was meant for the benefit of Maitreya, who was sitting nearby. The Lord used to call Uddhava for consultation when the city was attacked by Jarasandha and others, and when he executed great sacrifices as part of his routine royal work as Lord of Dwarka.
Yeah.
His His calling for Uddhava to give him enlightenment is certainly astonishing. All these actions of the Lord appear to be contradictory, although there is no contradiction in the routine activities of the Lord. Therefore, it is better to see them as they are and not attempt to explain them.
Hmm. don't try to. Sometimes when Lord calls, okay, hey, this Jarasandha is attacking. I am thinking like this, that I will move the whole kingdom to Dwaraka. So Lord was making decisions like that, and he was consulting Uddava about this. And what is an attack of Jarasandha to Lord? He could have just, with his glance, he would have killed him. But this whole drama manifests, and Uddava is just speaking about all of this. Actually, it is for the benefit of Maitreya. Maitreya is a jnani. He's not a, he's a mixed devotee, but more focused on jnana, trying to acquire the knowledge of the Lord. You know, his focus is more on jnana side of it, and because that's not ultimate, in a way, this discussion of Uddhava is teaching Maitreya. It's the purpose of these words that Uddhava is speaking is to teach Maitreya that, just by being a logician will not help to achieve the highest perfection. Jnanam param swatmaraha prakasham
Gnanam param
Param
swam
prakasham
provachakasmai bhagavan samagram
provacha
Chakasmai
kasmai
Bhagavan
bhagavan
Samagram
samagram
apikshamam na grahanaya bhartar
Apikshamam
Grahanaya
apiksamanya
Bhartar
bharta
vadan jasayad vrijinam tarema.
Vadam
vadantasyat vijinam tarema.
Karim.
Okay, please read. Anyone?
Yeah, I can do. My Lord kindly explain to us, if you think us competent to receive it, the transcendental knowledge which gives enlightenment about yourself and which you explained before to Brahmaji.
So at the time of creation, Lord in the form of Mahavishnu speaks to Lord Brahma. So Uddhava is asking, if you think us competent to receive it, us means it's referring to Maitreya Muni and Uddhava. Uddhava is sitting with the Lord. Lord is about to leave the planet, and Uddhava is sitting before him, and Maitreya was just standing by listening. And actually, Lord explains the whole creation process. That becomes the content of next couple of cantos, and that is spoken by Maitreya. Why? Because Maitreya is an expert logician. He can speak about creation very well. So that becomes the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya, the whole creation process. So that will come in the next canto. Yeah, so please
A
go.
pure devotee like Uddhava has no material afflictions because he engages constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. A devotee feels afflicted without the association of the Lord. Constant remembrance of the Lord's activities keeps the devotees alive, and therefore Uddhava requested that the Lord please enlighten him with the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam as previously instructed to Brahmaji.
Yeah. So so devotees of the Lord always like to hear the transcendental activities of the Lord. So that constant remembrance of the Lord's activities is very pleasing to uh, sincere devotees, pure devotees. Even when Lord Chaitanya was in the performing pastimes in the middle world, he would ask Gadadhar Pandit to speak Bhagavatam pastimes. No one knows how many times Lord Chaitanya would request Gadadhar Pandit to speak from Bhagavatam verses. he would hear Prahlad Maharaj's pastime, and he would, after hearing the whole pastime, he would ask him, repeat the whole thing again. So day and night they would just keep hearing the same pastime again and again. Same thing with Uddhava pastime, same thing with other devotee pastimes. So in this way, devotees relish the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, activities of the Lord. They're not so excited about the discussions about creation, how the middle world is formed. Those are all there in Bhagavatam, but more interested in actual interactions of the devotees with the Lord, right? Pastimes of the Lord, great devotees of the Lord, how they have, uh, overcome challenges, devotees like that. Iti avedita hridaya harda
Iti
Iti
avedita
avedita
hridaya
ardaya
mahyam sa bhagavan para
mahimsa
mahimsa
bhagavan
bhagavan
para
Bhagavantara
adidesa ravindaksha
aditya
adidesaravindaksha
ravindaksha
Adidesaravindaksha
apana paramam stitam.
atmana
Atmana
mana
Paramam
paramastitam.
Sritim.
Translation: When I thus expressed my heartfelt desires onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the lotus eyed Lord instructed me about his transcendental situation.
Yeah. So Lord was pleased with Uddhava, and so he speaks. So Lord was mentioned as lotus-eyed. So all parts of the Lord look like lotus. His navel is like lotus. His eyes, his heart. Everything is described compared to lotus because lotus is considered one of the most beautiful form in the middle world. So that's how Lord is seen, especially his eyes. Lotus-eyed Lord instructed me about his transcendental situation. Paramam Sthithim, the transcendental situation of the Lord. So we'll read what that is. Saevam Aradita Padatirda
Saevam
Saevam
Evam
aradita
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 padatirtha
padatirtha
Padita
Adhita Tattvatma Vibhoda Marga
adhita
adhita
Adita
tattvatma vibodha
Tattvatma
marga
Vibhoda
vibhodhamarga
Marga
Pranamya Padau Parvricha Devam
pranamya
Pranamya
pranamyapadau
padau
Padau
pavritya devam
Parivitra
parivrittadevam
Devam
Agatoham Virahantu Ratma.
iha
iha
gotam
gotam
Agatoham
virahanturatma.
virahantatma.
Virahanturatma.
Sri Uddava's, sorry. I have studied the path of understanding self-knowledge from my spiritual master, the personality of Godhead, and thus after circumulating him, I have come to this place, very much aggravate due to separation.
So Uddhava is speaking that I have studied the path of self-knowledge, about knowledge about self, from my spiritual master, the personality of Godhead. So Uddhava now, became a disciple of Lord Krishna. That's why, just like Arjuna, Arjuna accepted himself to be a student of Krishna in the second chapter, 7th verse. So similarly, here Uddhava is accepting. There is this Uddhava Gita that will come in the last 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It talks about the conversation between Uddhava and Lord Krishna. Just like Bhagavad Gita is the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, there is Uddhava Gita also. There are many instructions on how to perform worship of the Supreme Lord in those chapters. It's longer than Bhagavad Gita, but it's a beautiful conversation. This is before Lord leaving the world. He gives these instructions to Uddhava. So they are very, very potent instructions. Yeah. So after hearing all those instructions from the Lord, self-knowledge instructions, I have come to this place, this Prabhashra Kshetra, very much aggrieved due to separation. So now Uddhava, you know, now he's separated from the Lord because Lord already left the material existence, went to the next place. So now that he's separated, he was remembering those past times and he was very much aggrieved, sad for missing the Lord. Yeah.
The Uddhava's actual life is the direct symbol of the Katasloki
Chatusloki
Bhagavatam.
Bhagavatam.
Katasloki Bhagavatam, enunciated first to Brahmaji by the personality of Godhead. These four very great and important verses from Srimad Bhagavatam are particularly taken out by the Mayavadi speculators who construe a different purport to suit their impersonal view of monism.
Yeah. So this is all in the second canto. We already studied. There are 4 verses which are directly spoken by Lord to the Brahma. Some of the Mayavadi speculators they interpret them in impersonalistic way, which is incorrect because it doesn't align with the rest of the Bhagavatam. That kind of interpretation. Yeah. So please.
Lord Sri Krishna, because they distort the purports of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam to mislead the public and prepare a direct path to the hell known as Andha
Mishra.
Tamisra, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 16:20. Such envious speculators are without knowledge and are surely condemned
Life after life.
Condemned life after life.
Those actually who misinterpret Bhagavatam, especially Bhagavatam and also Bhagavad Gita, and give Mayavadi explanations, they will be headed to Andhata Mishra. Is one of the 27 hellish planets. Andhata Mishra, because they are now, why they are punished like that? Because they are taking the opportunity that is available in human life for for their followers, and they're misdirecting them. They are going to hell and they're misdirecting so many people. Because of the such mistake, Lord punishes them by sending them to Andhata Misra. So it's only talking about not it's mainly about Mayavadis who reject the form of the Lord. Soham taddarshanah
Soham
Tat
Yogarthi yuta prabho
Yogatiyuta Prabhu
Gamishedayatam tasya
Deyasatyam Tasya
Badaryashrama mandalam.
Darsisrama Mandalam.
My dear Vidura, now I am mad for want of the pleasure of seeing him, and just to mitigate this, I am now proceeding to Badrikashrama in the Himalayas for association, as I have been instructed by him.
So actually, Lord instructs Uddhava to go to Badrikashrama to meet, the devotees there. So he's just following the instructions of the Lord. Yeah. So Lord in the form of Narayana is there in Badrikashrama.
A pure devotee of the Lord of the standard of Uddhava constantly associates with the Lord in the double perception of simultaneous separation and meeting. The pure devotee is not for a moment unengaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Execution of the Lord's service is the main occupation of the pure devotee. Uddava's separation from the Lord was unbearable, and therefore he started to Badrikashrama in obedience to the Lord's order, because the order of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical. As long as one is engaged in the execution of the order of the Lord, there is no factual separation from him.
Yeah, so this is a very powerful purport, very powerful purport. So this is an instruction for devotees who may, for example, whose spiritual master passes away from the middle world, right? How should one continue with inspiration when the spiritual master is there? He has a person to look up to. You know, he would be looking for association of the spiritual master. But when that spiritual master leaves the world, it is a great challenge for the disciple, the devotee. Many of them slacken in their devotion practices. So here the instruction is, so just like Uddhava, he lost his friend Krishna, who left the world now, and he was in constant remembrance of him, and he was crying. He was longing to see him again, but now he is separated. So he is finding solace in following the instruction of the Lord, who he accepted as his spiritual master. So the pure devotee is not for a moment unengaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. Execution of the Lord's service is the main occupation of the pure devotee. Uddhava's separation from the Lord was unbearable. He was his spiritual master also. And therefore he started to Badrikashram in obedience to the Lord's order. This is the main thing. Because the order of the Lord and the Lord himself are identical. So if you follow the order of the spiritual master, whether it's as good as following the spiritual master, being with the spiritual master. This is exactly how Srila Prabhupada felt. He always felt the presence of his spiritual master. Even though it was at least several decades before he could really implement all the instructions that were given to him. He got the instruction in 1930s and he implemented in 1960s. So imagine, like 30 years gap. But he was always remembering his spiritual master as if he was there with him. Yeah. Chaitanya Prabhu.
Yeah, so I think so. The way we should comprehend this purport is right, just like how Uddhava considered the order of the Lord and the Lord are indifferent. Same goes for all disciples that their Guru Maharaj's instruction, the Guru Maharaj are indifferent, and you take shelter of the instruction when the Guru Maharaj has disappeared.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Take shelter of when you follow the order of the spiritual master, it's as good as being in the association of the spiritual master. As long as one is engaged in the execution of the order of the Lord, there is no factual separation from him. Yeah. Yatra Narayano Devo
Yatra Narayano Devo
Narascha Bhagavan Rishi
Narasya Bhagavan
Jyoti Brahm Tapo Dirgham
Gurudevram
Te Pate Loka Bhavanau.
Te Pati Loka Bhavanau.
Okay, please read.
There in Badrikashrama, the personality of Godhead in his incarnation as the sages Nara and Narayana has been undergoing great penance since time immemorial for the welfare of all amiable living entities.
So in the situation in Badrikashrama, there is Nara and Narayana. Narayana is the Supreme Lord. Nara is a sage. Both are known as sages, but actually the Narayana is actually Vishnu Tattva. So they're undergoing great penance for what? It's not for their benefit. It's for the benefit of the welfare of all living entities. Yeah. So this is the next section. We will continue next week. So these are very, sweet pastimes of Lord and devotees, right? You can see how Lord was so lovingly disposed, very personal to Uddhava, and how Uddhava feels the pangs of separation, and he takes shelter of the instruction of the Lord as the recourse when he was missing his friend and Lord. Okay. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.